Yeah, you'll never see me shoving a hot dog in my mouth
Yeah, you're
again.
like, no, thank you, 4th of July. Good to see you again. I interviewed you a few years ago for half of it, and it's been amazing to see what you've been doing since then. So first, I just want to say congratulations.
Thank you. It's so good to see you again too. That makes my heart smile so much.
I love it. This movie is just so much fun. What is it do you think about a road trip movie and that formula that just continues to kind of stand that test of time? Because it's one of those genres that like I just fall in love with, and we're really seeing it come back again.
It's so cool you asked that because I'm such a sucker for these kinds of films, whether it's road trip, like sleepaway camp, whatever kind of adventure all the buddies have to go on. And like what I love about this film is that like in that format is that it allows a bunch of different personalities to be going on the track of one single goal. And like anything that can happen usually does happen. And I think like it's fun getting to see these different personalities kind of interact with each other. And it also is just nostalgic. You know, who doesn't want to or hasn't gone on a road trip with their best boyfriends or girlfriends and spent like that quality time together? It's not like, okay, we're going away for 4 hours. It's like, no, we are in the car together. We are intimately getting to know each other. And that's when you start to see all the good, the bad, the ugly, the great, everything kind of come out as you kind of see in this film.
Was there something about Taylor that maybe like one thing that you really connected with the most, and maybe one aspect that you thought would be the biggest challenge for you, and maybe like a fun risk to take with the character?
Yeah, I think that the music element in Taylor that was the one that I felt immediately more drawn to. I knew that as a musician myself, it was going to be easy to have the mindset of being, you know, the performing musician and knowing that like, oh, she's looking for the emotional side and things, like has a deeper understanding because she's trying to find the similarities and the parallels between reality and art and like the deeper meaning. But challenge wise, I would say the only thing that was challenging is personally, I'm like not at the time, at least, I think I've mellowed out with maturity, but I was not a moody, like dark. I like moodier and dark things. I'm a very big fan of everything spooky, but to the public and to like in a work environment, I'm very much more Kai. Like I'm like, it's gonna be fine. Like, don't worry, guys. And so I remember like going in, and even when things on set were like challenging with the heat and like and getting the kinks of things in the beginning, I was the one that was going full Kai mode, trying to be super, super positive. And then by the end, I had just mellowed out into my Taylor sense. Like it was massaged into me. I was like, all right, I can be zen and feel that I don't have to push it out and squeeze.
And you play a chef in this film. I got to know, like everybody's kind of obsessed with chefs and cooking. I can't cook, but like I've been a fan
Chef.
of like Master Chef forever. You know, it's one of those shows that I kind of wish I could go on. How much did you take in learning to be kind of play a chef for this? And do you think you do good on a show like a Master Chef or?
You know, when it comes to this, I think my love for food is something that I really, really led with. Like, I think, you know, I'm a creator at heart. Like, I love to create music, art, movies. So in this, I was like, you know, for me, my passion is cooking, and this is what I love to create, and this is what I want to give back to the world. Luckily, like, I am someone who cooks a lot in real life. I will say this right now, I am not a baker. Lizzie is a very prestige baker. I suck at baking. If it came to a cooking show in real life, I think I'd be good, but I'd probably be on like, you know, the kid show. Like, you know, when you see the kids like, oh my God, like the mashed potatoes, like that would be me. I'm definitely not like okay, I'll be there in a second, chef. Like I would be freaking out. I think even in the kitchen in my own home, the moment like one dish goes awry, it throws the whole thing off. And I'm like, like not doing well.
If you were to go on some type of reality show, any kind that you think you'd be really good at, what show would that be?
I would want to go on Physical 100. Physical 100. If they would have me, I would love to go on Pitmasters, but like not as an actual contender, but as like a mentee.
Okay.
like a shadower on
Learn all the
Pitmasters, which is like
secrets. You're
a
like there, but not
yeah.
actually there.
Yeah, I'm the intern.
That is one of the messages of the movie. Sometimes you have to take those risks and those struggles. And I know with acting, it is kind of a way for you to get out of your comfort zone and pick roles maybe that you wouldn't go for or that would challenge you in the future. Whether it's like, oh, I'm not really a sportsy person, but it kind of be fun to maybe go learn something like that. What is something that you hope to do down the line that maybe scares you a little, but you're like, this would actually be maybe a cool role or type of movie to do?
That's a really good question. I mean, okay, my ultimate dream, and I'm saying it right now, my dream since I was a kid was to be a Bond girl. I think that it is the perfect mix between tough and sexy. And I think the training that would probably have to go into it, like I want to be a Bond girl with like a sword. I want to like wield a sword. Or I feel like with a gun, it's like, oh, okay, I can like only do so much prep for it, but like I want to do choreography and have that element of prep for it. And so any type of like action movie, I think would be really, really cool. And I'm an athlete myself, so it'll be natural to kind of zap into it. But that's been a dream. It's been a dream forever.
We're putting that out in the universe.
Yes. I'm putting it out right now. We're manifesting and we're trying to make it happen.
Cool. And this movie really rides on the chemistry of you ladies, and you have such good chemistry. And I was talking to Sasha yesterday and I was asking her what she's kind of learned or a fun little thing she's learned about each of you. What is something that you've learned about each of the other girls?
Wow. I'm the worst person to ask for this question because I get so deep with it. Okay, I'll just speak from the heart. Sasha is a creator through and through. I could literally cry just even thinking about her. The way that she sees the world, which I wouldn't have picked up on this right away. She sees the world in art. Like, what can I do with that lamp to create something, to give this back to someone else? A song, poetry, like whatever it is. She's one of the most artsy people I know. She's like a true creator. Like, it's like if Bob Dylan were to walk in, she kind of gives me the same vibes where like it radiates off of her.
Leah taught me how to properly like lift. We did like lift training together throughout the summer.
Oh, wow.
Which was so much fun. I'm a runner, so I wake up in the morning, run 3 miles, and that's it. I just don't really feel like doing anything else. I just love my music and the meditation aspect of it and the clear-headedness. But when we would be going to the gym, I would get on the treadmill and she's like, I'm going to go do my weight training. Do you want to come with? And I love her energy. So I was like, yeah. And so she taught me how to properly weight train, which is really, really cool and fun. We felt like gym bros. But Leah taught me how to weight train. Ashley taught me how to flirt. I would ask her about my boy problems and she knew how to take care of them. So she gave me a lot of advice.
Something I learned about Ashley, like she is, I mean, when you look at her, she's one of the most beautiful people I've ever seen in my life. It's like, and she's so fashionable. She's so like kind of in the mix and in the know, but she's also got like a crazy sense of humor. Like I was snorting, laughing, pooping, crying anytime she would open her mouth because it was just like, I mean, I don't know how someone can be that gorgeous, but also have such an intricate mind to also be so funny as well.
And Ariel taught me how to like speak up for myself. I think that for the like a little bit, I kind of had this, not a little bit. I had a very kind of like, oh yeah, it's fine, it's whatever. And be rooting on the inside. And Ariel doesn't take crap. She is speaking up about what she wants and is so like strong. And so I remember in the beginning, she was like, don't worry, we're gonna break you, but we're gonna teach you how to be super, super tough. And ever since then, I think I joke about it now. I'm like, oh, they were so right. Like by the end of this shoot, like I think I added this like extra bit of muscle emotionally that I could like stand up for myself. And so
physical and emotional muscle you came out of there with, right?
Literally.
Something about Ariel, like this is a little deeper too. She's incredibly sarcastic and super, super loud and out there. But after spending a couple quiet nights together, I actually find that like she's very soft and very vulnerable and like has a very, very beautiful soft side to her. And she probably knocked my face in if she heard me saying this on this interview. But she's a softie.
And you obviously come from a very, very talented family. And when I saw you in this movie, I was like, of course, she's a multiple threat. And it's no surprise. What is something maybe from your mom? Because she is kind of that person in this movie who provides the inspiration and the wisdom and even learns from the girls herself. What's something maybe that you learned from your mom throughout this journey? And also, is there somebody else besides your parents in the industry that is your kind of other support system?
In terms of on this journey with the film, I was reading scripts with her when I was probably like 7, 8-ish. I remember reading sides and having that practice of, critiquing and like learning how to strike scripts. And so when it came to being on set with her, I would always kind of ask a few things. But in the acting world, we actually keep it very, very separate versus the music world. The music world, because I think it's so fresh to me these days in the terms of like recording and like getting demos finished up for release. I would ask her, I'd be like, what do you think about this? Like, what do I need? What tips in terms of, in the vocal realm, in the EQ, like what should we tackle and what should we, or even in the business, like what should be the avenue that I'm taking? And it's a whole new floodgate of information that like I never knew before, because I always wanted to be an actor as a kid. And then as I kind of want to do everything. So as I did the movie, I was like, all right, taking a break. The strike is all it's upon us. And so I was like, oh, let me go more towards music. And so now it's like we have a whole new relationship where I can find out exactly where I'm lacking in these areas that are so new to me, because I've been in actor mode for forever. And so it's really, really cool. And other than that, my sister also is a really, really big inspiration and a really good helping hand in the music world as well. It's a really, really good support system that I appreciate so much. I love them.
I love the relationship, obviously, throughout with Lizzie and Patty. And I'm just curious, for you as an actress, what is maybe one misconception that you had about the field? Because we obviously see that Lizzie learns more about the cooking field and being a chef than she thought she knew. And what is there somebody in your life that kind of is that Patty figure through your career?
Wow. There have been many Patties to get me here today. Vanessa's even one of those Patties. She is Patty. But like, even on set, like she gave me so much advice about what it is to put one foot in front of the other in this. I think for me, one of the biggest lessons I've learned about acting is kind of the same thing that Lizzie learns in this. You can have a dream, but it's going to look a million different ways. And it's like, what do you really want? Like I've had this dream of being an actress since I was a kid. And obviously it's changed every single year for me, what that looks like, what it expects of me, and what I need to do to, be able to put myself in a place to have a chance at having the roles that I want. And I think for me, I've struggled a lot with being like not humble enough, or being overly humble and completely like being too hard on myself, So for me, like if I could say one thing about acting, it is never stop working your ass off and stay balanced. Like you're never too big for your boots, but you're never too small for your boots. So kind of like Lizzie too, you see her kind of like wish-wash between like, I'm too good for this, I'm not good enough. And all you need is that like healthy middle.
I have a feeling you probably never look at hot dogs the same anymore, do you?
Oh my God. I can't even tell you. I don't like hot dogs to begin with. That's like the one food that I don't like. So nice. And they got me veggie hot dogs.
Okay.
But yeah, you'll never see me shoving a hot dog in my mouth again.
You're like, no, thank you, 4th of July. Last
Exactly.
question. I know we're at a weird time and you can't really speak about your next project, but you are working with one of my all-time favorite actresses. And in the vein of kind of like learning from like Vanessa, was there something that you learned from Kathy Bates that you maybe were surprised to learn, or like maybe one of the first questions you were like, if I get like 10 minutes with Kathy Bates, this is what I want to ask her?
What's so crazy? Like when I ended up on the thing that I'm doing with Kathy Bates, I even thought to myself, like, what are we going to say to her? What are you going to ask her? My mom was like, ask her to be your mentor. And I'm like, Mom, shush. Like, no, that's crazy.
Ask her to be your best friend instead.
Yeah, I'm like, ew, like that's the last thing Kathy wants is another person being like, be my mentor. But like, I just got to know her. Like I asked her about her family life, and we had actually even talked about some really personal stuff. And like, that was kind of my in with her. And I was like, oh, like I don't need to act a certain way around like Kathy. I could just be myself and learn from her. And something I have learned is like, God, what a professional. She kind of gives off the same thing that Vanessa gives off too, where it's like just a creator at heart. Like I look at her and I completely understand why she's had such a long lasting career, because not only does she take this work so seriously in such a special and detailed way, she's respectful, she's humble, and she's kind. And she's always looking for a way not to make herself feel better as Kathy, but for a way to make the character better. Like that is one thing I took away from her, where I'm like, your eyes are like dead set on the money, which is the work. Nothing else around you. Forget the people trying to bring you water. Forget like, crafty or, whatever. It was about the work for her. And I cannot respect that enough.
I love that. I love hearing that she's as amazing as I think she is.
She's a national treasure.
She is. I love it. Well, thank you so much, Leah, for your time, and congratulations on everything. Can't wait to see what you do next.
Thank you, Lisa. It was really good to see you again. I hope we get to see each other again soon.
You have to show up for the people around you and trust that they've got your back.
Every time I fall, I get back.